All right, we're back in a hotel room, which means two things. There's no stove, and I'm not paying $25 for a sad burger downstairs. Tonight we're cooking chicken, new potatoes, and broccoli, all in a microwave, and it's going to be solid. So I've already been here a night. I've already tried out some of the equipment, but this is still going to be easy. I do this at home too. We're going to start with the new potatoes just because there's an order to make things kind of flow. I get kind of hungry. I'm going to have 4 potatoes. If you only want 1 or 2 or 6, whatever, that's up to you. But 4 potatoes is going to be good for me. All right, for the potatoes, essentially to do them in the microwave, you got to poke some holes in them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse them off. Poke about 4 holes in each potato. This will keep it from blowing up. From here, we're just gonna wrap them up in a paper towel. I usually kind of place them like this. Wrap one side that way, one side this way. Then I'm gonna wet it. So this is like a 1,000-watt microwave. I'm gonna put it in here. I'm just gonna do like 3 minutes. All right, we'll do 3 minutes. Once that's done, I'll pull them out, flip them over. We'll put it in for another 3 minutes. So they're gonna be a little hot, but I just flipped them over. We're gonna go 3 more minutes. All right, so this is the Home 2 Suites by Hilton. It has a little kitchenette, as you can see, but it also comes with a few dishes, spoons, forks, all that kind of stuff. But what it didn't come with that I brought was this little steamer, Good Cook microwave steamer. There'll be links in the description, but this thing's amazing. I actually think this cooks better sometimes than like what I could do at home. Anyway, this is how we're going to cook our chicken and our broccoli. We're also there was a few bowls in here, Corningware type stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna put like the potatoes in here where I can keep them warm while everything else is cooking. If you didn't have that, you could have some aluminum foil, wrap it in that, or some kind of aluminum foil pouch. They sell those too. You could bring some of these with you, or you could just not do anything, and then I'm probably going to heat them up a little bit in the microwave after everything is ready to melt the butter and stuff. But so that's always an option. All right, the potatoes stopped cooking. Like I said, they're going to be pretty hot. You can feel of them, kind of see if they're soft. These feel pretty good. So I'm going to transfer them to the little bowl and cover it. We'll just let that sit. So I don't see any cutting boards here. I'm just going to use a plate, but pull that out. Like I said, I've already been here a night. I already cooked one chicken breast, but I'm cooking a whole chicken breast. This is, I don't know, 10, 12 ounces. It's a pretty thick, pretty big chicken breast, but I'm not cooking it whole. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slice it up. So there's a knife here. You know, you can bring a knife if you're, you know, not in some room that has like a little kitchenette. You can use your pocket knife, whatever you need to do. So I'm just gonna slice this. I'm gonna try to make the strips kind of even as far as thickness. Motel room cutlery is not necessarily the sharpest. All right, once I get it cut into strips, then I'm just going to cut it basically into bite-sized pieces. And I can actually start putting it on my steamer. So that's probably a little crowded, but it'll work just fine. Like I say, this little thing is amazing. But all right. So before we microwave it, like I say, this is a steamer, which means that you need to add liquid inside the bottom part. I'm not going to just put water. So I bought these little chicken broth, like individual serving sizes. So this is what I'm going to use to steam it with. Don't really need all of it. I'm going to save a little bit of it for something else later. All right, so that's probably enough. Just, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch in the bottom. And then we can put our steamer right back on there, and then we're going to cover it. So it comes with this lid. I just open the vent all the way, line it up, and we're going to cook this in stages. All right, so put it in the microwave on the little round turntable. And a big trick to not make this like rubber is that we need to cook it at a lower power setting. All right, so I'm gonna set the time, and we're gonna do 4 minutes. And then we're gonna hit the power level, and we want the power level, I'm gonna put it at 60%. All right. On this one, it has a power level button. I push 6, it says -6, but that's 60%. And then we're just gonna start, and we're gonna let it cook. All right, so it's went through its first cycle. I'm gonna pull it out. So the first time I did this, I kind of looked at it, and it didn't really look done. I was kind of worried. So some of the center is definitely not done. But is what we're going to do is we're going to turn it over. And I'll be honest, I forgot something. So I'm going to season it. I should have done this before I cooked it the first time, but it'll be fine. I'm just using Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning, just the original. This is what I like. You can use whatever you want, but this works pretty good. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on here. All right. And I'm going to flip each individual piece. One thing about having the seasoning on, it's easy to see which side you've already cooked, kind of, right? So. All right, so the other thing I'm going to do is the pieces that were in the center, I'm going to move them to the outside, and the pieces that were on the outside kind of push toward the center. All right, I'm going to season this side too. All right, so back covered. This time I'm going to do it 5 minutes. Same thing though. Put in my time. Power level 60%. And then start. All right, done the second time. We'll pull it out and check it. Last night, this worked out perfect. We'll see what happens. All right, so I did bring a thermometer with me. So I'm going to test it. Specifically the center ones. I would say they're not quite there. Those are. So most of them are about 165 degrees, but I had one that only read about 140. I want to get them to about 165, and then I'll let them sit in the pan and they'll cook the rest of the way to get to a 180. If you get to 180 in the stove though, it's might not work out right. But like I said, I did this same time last night with the same kind of chicken and it worked perfect. I would say it almost worked perfect, but I'm gonna add another minute. We'll see what that does. Yeah, so those, they're all at least 160. Some of them are up to 180, but that'll be just fine. So I have another bowl where I can put this in, and come to think of it, that's a lot of chicken. So I think I'm going to take the potatoes out of this bowl, put them in this smaller one. Put my chicken in this larger bowl. Let's see. Then we're going to cover that. Let that sit. So I think is what happened. The breast I think I cooked last night was a little bit smaller and it had a little more space in there. All right, so the last thing we got to cook is the broccoli. So all I got is just a bag of blocky florets. Makes it simple. I'm just going to put them on there. That's quite a bit of broccoli, especially with all the potatoes, the chicken, and this. So the broth I had left over last time, I'm going to pour a little bit on that top of the broccoli. Kind of just runs off. But back to my Tony Chachere's. Give it a little spice. All right, then cover. So only the chicken needs to be at 60%. The broccoli and the potatoes is just full power. So I'm gonna put that in there. Time cook. We're gonna do 4 minutes. All right, so I kind of changed my mind. We're coming up on 1 minute left, so it's cooked for, you have cooked for 3 minutes. And I think I'm gonna stop it right there, and we're gonna pull it out and look at it. You don't wanna really overcook the broccoli, so. Yeah, I would say that's fine. So instead of 4 minutes, 3 minutes. Soft enough, but not mushy. Okay, so from here, I'm ready to eat. We're just gonna start putting this on the plate. All right. I'm gonna leave this out because I'm gonna use some of this broth to kind of top everything. Potatoes. So I'll pull the potatoes out. They're still fairly warm. And what I want to do is slice them a little bit. So I'm going to get just a butter knife, that'll be fine. I'm just going to kind of slice them open. And then from there, I'm probably going to slice each half in half. So basically I have quarters. And that's about 1 bite. All right. So the reason I did that is because I'm fixing to put on the other ingredient. And that's butter. Now butter, you don't have to, if you're just going to be here a week, you don't have to refrigerate butter. You can just leave it out and it'll be soft. But, so I'm going to put slabs of butter on top of the potatoes and on top of the broccoli because I like butter. Now this isn't margarine, this is butter. So if you want margarine, sure, go ahead, but I prefer and I suggest butter. And I just used the whole small half package. But I need to, it kind of got messy, but it's not a big deal. All right, now the chicken. This is a lot of food. If you can't eat this much, then obviously don't cook this much. And some of your times you may can adjust if it's a lot less of a meal. I mean, you might could cook all of this, at least the broccoli and the chicken, just on one steamer. But I don't really suggest that because the broccoli and the chicken have different cook times, different power levels. Right. So now I'm going to take a spoon and just spoon some of this broth on top of everything. Now you can do whatever you want with the broth. You can throw it away, or you can drink it, or do whatever. But it is fine to drink, stuff like that. I like it, so I might drink some of it. But probably not, because I got so much food here, I'm probably going to be full. Last thing, I'm going to put this in the microwave for like 45 seconds. And yes, there's going to be some cleanup after this. If you don't want to do that, then get you some paper plates and bowls and stuff. All right, so there it is, ready to eat. I mean, what more could you ask for? You could go to like a grocery store or something and they have them prepared meals, and you can get a similar thing like this, and it'll be maybe half the chicken, less than half of the broccoli, less than half of the potatoes. So this is a way larger meal, and I bet I didn't spend no more than I would for one of those meals. And obviously this is packed with protein, packed with a lot of different things that you need, keep you going throughout the day. So there you have it. Real food doesn't require a fancy kitchen. All you need is a microwave, basic ingredients, and one of those microwave steamers will probably come in handy. And then the willingness to not quit and order fries. This is the Roman Skillet, real food wherever you land.